How's it going, guys? So on my flipping guide I did have a few questions on there, and also I've been asked a couple of times about how to find the price and flip expensive items. So today in this video I'm going to be going over how to do that a lot more clearly and sort of explain it a lot better than I did in that video. Also, while we're at it, guys, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on anything in the future. I will be making a lot more videos that explain things just like this. I'm going to try and keep this video as much as to the point and short as I can. I'm going to try and keep it simplified for everyone who's just learning flipping, or even people who are just wanting to figure out how to do the expensive items. I'm going to try my best not to ramble on about other stuff, and let's hopefully just get a good clear guide for you guys. So just to sort of show that I'm not just talking rubbish and that you can sort of see that I do understand kind of where I'm coming from on this. You can see on screen now a few flips that I've done. I've covered the names, so unfortunately, guys, I don't want to just give it away, but I'll be showing you how you can make profit margins kind of like this, even bigger. These margins on this item were usually a hell of a lot bigger, but at the moment this item is crashing, so the margin is a little bit lower. The first thing that you're going to need to know is what item you're going to flip. So a good place to start looking is probably going to be the next items, armors. Now, I'm not going to tell you anything other than that. There's a big variety of next armors, so it's not going to crash the whole market if people start trying them. However, look at the prices first and see if it's going to work for you. Obviously, if you're all flipping the same thing, then it's not going to work out. You'll learn in the future about what items are going to suit you to flip. However, it's not always going to be the same things. So once you start trying out items, you'll find something that you enjoy flipping and you'll start learning the prices on it, and that'll make it easy for yourselves. But in this video, I'm going to be using the Torva plate body as an example. Don't use that for yourselves, guys. It might be good, you can try it, but I'm not saying that that's the only thing that you should be flipping. Our next step, now that you've picked your item, we're going to be using the Torva plate body, like I said, then you need to find your price. The next thing that you're going to be doing to find this price is going to the Grand Exchange on the RuneScape website. Make sure you're on the RuneScape website and don't enter your details anywhere, please. You don't need to do that to use the Grand Exchange on there. Search up your item, so Torva plate body, and then look what the graph is doing. Now, the graphs aren't that hard to sort of work out. If you set it to a long-term one or a short-term one, then you can see what's been done over the time. So bring it sort of closer to the short-term one, and then take a look at what the graph's doing. If it's going down, then that means the item is crashing at the moment, whereas if it's going up, then the item is rising. Now, this doesn't show you to the current day. What I mean by that is it doesn't update every time one sells. So if it starts to spike up for the day now, it's not going to be immediately there. However, it's going to give you a good idea where to start with your price. Okay, so now that we know that our item is rising in price, it gives us an idea of how to start with our buying price. Now, what I mean by this is, if you went to the Grand Exchange and found the mid price, which at the moment for Torva plate body is 63.8 mil, you're probably not going to be able to buy that item for mid price because it's going up in price. However, just to be on the safe side, because items like this fluctuate quite a lot throughout the day, even though the average will be that it's risen through the day, someone might dump one because they might have got one from next, or if someone gets a back-to-back, you never know what happens with these items. So we'll put the offer in for about 63.6 mil. Now, this is a little on the low side just because it is a rising item, but it's safer, seeing as there's only a buy limit of 2, to start on the low side and work your way up. However, if this item was crashing, you would then want to work out the margin that you would want to make from this item and then put your buy price around about there. So if it was crashing, what I would do is think, I want to make around about 2 mil from this item, and that's a realistic sort of margin, and you'll work those out when you start flipping these sort of items. So I would place my order around about the 61.8 mil or 62 mil margin, and then once that is sat there for a little while, I would then move up until I do buy the item. Let's go ahead and place our order for 63.6 mil on this Torva plate body, and then we'll leave it to sit just for a little while. Now, if it insta-bought, you can definitely deal with that. Don't worry, you've not just lost profit. It's something that you can definitely work with, and I will go over that quite soon in the video, but let's just stick with this for now. So the item's not bought yet. We're going to leave it for about 15 minutes to half an hour. I'd probably recommend leaving it about half an hour, and then put the price up by about 100k if it still hasn't bought. What this is going to let you do is slowly raise your buying price until you find the point where it does buy in for you, but you need to leave it enough time just to make sure that someone is selling it. If you leave it 10 minutes and keep raising, there's a good chance someone's not going to be selling it. And if you're already at that buy price, you're just cutting into your margins. So just leave it that half an hour, and then if it's not sold, we're going to up it by 100k. Now, the reason that we're only going to jump up in price by about 100k at a time, you could even do 50k if you wanted. It depends on the item's value itself, to be fair. But with something that's worth around about 50 mil plus, I would recommend doing 100k. If it's worth over 100 mil, then you're going to be looking at doing bigger margins anyway, and then you could sort of do maybe 150 to 200k. But the reason that we're going to be sticking to lower amounts is because we don't want to cut into our margins too much and crash the item down. Okay, so what if it does instantly buy? Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't happen. If you're buying a rising item and you put in below mid price, it's not going to buy 9 times out of 10. In fact, even like it's just not going to happen. But just in case it does, guys, this is for you. Don't panic. You've actually just found your sell price straight away, and that's quite helpful as well. Okay, now I'm going to instantly buy one at a way higher price than what we'd expect, and you can see it instantly buys for 69.5 mil. Don't panic if this happens. Like I said, you've just found your sell price. And what you can do is pop that back in the Grand Exchange and then sell it for what you've bought it for. So you know that that's the sell price, the slow sell price. You can sell it back and you'll lose no money. You might have to drop it by about 10k, but 10k is nothing when you're flipping items such as, 70 mil plate bodies. So now you've got your sell price. If it has insta-bought, you haven't yet found your buy price. But that's not a problem. You can then work out how much you want to make off of this. At the moment, you can see that you can actually make about 3.5 mil off of this plate body, so up to 4 mil. So you could drop that price down, work out the difference, and then put that as your buy price. So say we still had the idea of just making 2 mil off of this item. We would then put an offer in the Grand Exchange to buy one for 67.5 mil. And then once that's bought, we could then sell it back on for exactly what we've just bought this for, but slightly less, just to speed up that process. However, guys, don't go into the Grand Exchange and insta-buy expensive items like Next items, thinking that you're going to find a buy price by doing that and working out your margin. It's good to use on items that have a high trade limit. Now, there is a few items that are worth a lot of money and do give you good margins on a high trade limit, but I'm not going to tell you what they are because that's what I'm flipping at the moment on that screenshot that I showed you before. However, things that have the 2 buy limit, like Next Armors, it's not worth doing it this way, but I just wanted to show you that just in case it does insta-buy and you can cover yourselves by selling it back at the same price. Okay, so if you use the first method to find your buy price, which is the most likely way that you're going to be doing it, then you're going to need to now find your sell price without instantly buying one so that you can sell more than one per hour. So once you've sort of got a feel for how big of margins you can make off of these items, then you're going to be able to work out where you can sell it at. So say the item did buy for the 63.8 mil that we offered before. We're going to take that item, put it back in the Grand Exchange, and then sell it on for, if we wanted to make 3 mil off of it, 67 mil. Now, we know that that is a really small margin for this item. So, because it's rising, what you can do is put it in for a lot of a higher price. So, maybe 5 mil, 6 mil margin, and then slowly bring your price down every 20 minutes, half an hour, until that item sells. Now, once that's sold, you've now got your buy price and you've got your sell price, and you know that your margin is the amount between that. And you can then put another offer in to buy that, and then once it's bought, put the offer in to sell it again. If it sells ridiculously quick, then you're selling it for too low. If it buys ridiculously quick, then you're offering too much. However, if it's not selling, don't panic and just slowly bring the item down. Do not panic sell your items, or else you're going to end up at some point losing quite a lot of money. Okay, so now you know how to find your buy price and you know how to find your sell price. All you need to do is go out there, put a bit of practice in, figure out what items you can flip and what's going to be working for you. Like I said, any of these items work pretty well. Don't only look at the rising items. If you look and you see an item is dropping in price, you can still make a lot of money off of it. I find that when an item is dropping in price, they flip a hell of a lot quicker. but you've got to stay on the ball because you could lose a bit of money on that way, so it's a bit more risky. But when an item's rising in price, buying the item could take a while because you've got to keep adjusting your price to get that item within range, and obviously your buy price is going to keep going up. Whereas if it is dropping in price, your offer price is actually going to be higher than what the item now is going at, and it's going to be catching up to you, so it will buy quite a bit quicker. So just put this into practice, guys. Be careful with it. Don't end up losing a lot of money, but you shouldn't do, as long as you're careful with the margins, and don't do anything too unrealistic, and also don't panic sell your items. There's a good chance that you can make quite a lot of money off doing this, guys. I make plenty of money to cover all my membership on 2 accounts, and to fund my in-game wealth at the moment. I'm also paying for my girlfriend's account over the double experience weekend, so you can make quite a lot of money off of this, guys. So that's brought us to the end of this video, guys. I hope it's helped. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything else when I do bring it out. I'm going to be thinking about bringing out some more flipping guides, just because I think a lot of people want to get into flipping, but think it's a lot harder than it actually is. Once you've got the basics, you can get into it and make a lot of money off of it, and then from then on it's just practicing, working out how the market works, and then you'll sort of pick up little things, and you probably won't even realize you're doing it until you look at your bank and you're like, actually, today I made about 20 odd mil just on flipping, when I was used to be making about 500k to 1 mil. So don't get discouraged if you start off low, and then eventually you'll realize that actually I've actually just found an item and made 20 odd mil today. So I do recommend that you guys get into it, even if it's just between boss trips, things like that. As always, guys, see you later. Bye.